Hey guys, how's things? I hope you guys are all doing well. Um, First thing, I've got, I think I have 22 of these that have survived the culling process. Some of them I messed them up and had to put them to the side, so I've got like a stack of these little guys that are sort of like, they flunked out, you know? Anyway, I do want to say, first of all, when I do this kind of thing, like this craft with me sort of situation, I'm really just sharing with you what I'm doing. Like, I'm not necessarily trying to do a tutorial, if you know what I'm saying. So, excuse me if I don't have all of the measurements that you might need, or sources for all of my supplies and things like that. Like, I'm just working with what I have, and if you happen to have something that is similar, then maybe this will give you some inspiration. I don't know. Like, that's really my only goal. So just to make that clear, okay? Because yeah, that's just the way it is. Anyway, so here's where I'm at. I have glued down any pattern papers that I'm going to use on these I guess I'm calling them pocketbooks. And so and then I also did I did a whole bunch of gluing over the last couple of days, and it's been a lot. I tell you, it's a lot of gluing. So I made all of the pockets. So there's a pocket for the right hand side of the inside of the book and one for the left hand side. Okay, so those are going to go on like that. And I've got I attached all the little sort of like hinges for these little gusseted pockets. I put all of those on, so that was really fun. And then what else did I do? So it's going to go like this, pocket here. So this, I'm not putting any pattern paper on these two sections, but I did put one on this side and nothing on the back. And then I did a piece of pattern paper on, this is going to be the actual front of the book. Okay, so that got a piece of pattern paper also, and I'm going to do some other stuff on here. So that's just to kind of cover it up, make it pretty, because I want to use these new papers I got, and I'm just excited about using them. I have 1/2 of an envelope for each book that is blank on the back, so I'm doing some collaging on the backs of these. These also need to be stitched along the bottom, and then they're going to get a magnet and a little notch, just a little bit of a notch right here. And then I'm also going to do a magnet. I ordered a bunch of magnets. I got them a couple days ago, so I have plenty of magnets, and I have a system of putting them on so it doesn't take a whole lot of time. Anyway, and then each one of these little books has 3 of this piece, which is actually the bottoms of the envelopes, right? So these each got a piece of pattern paper on them, and they're going to get a little bit of a notch also, like with a circle punch. But I want to cover the back. I attached the little hinge paper onto each of these also, but I want to cover this with something, and that's kind of what I was going to work on today with you guys. So I've basically I've dissected all of them, and I put together the same elements from each journal into a pile. So this is those pockets for all of the journals, and I just decided to take them all apart, dismantle everything, and work on them one element at a time. So I have all the covers here And I don't really have any more work that I'm going to be doing on these, except after I attach the pockets. So that's going to be kind of my next thing, is attaching these pockets, doing a notch here. And yeah, but I can't really do that yet because I have other stuff I need to do first. Okay, so these are kind of done for now. So those I don't need to worry about for a little while. But all of these pieces, they need something, okay? So then this is the center pocket. That is going to be, that's going to slip in like an insert under the elastic. So I went ahead and did the trimming of the pocket, which is not going to get stitched down or glued down. And then I attached a piece of pattern paper on the inside of each one of the pockets, okay? So I might put some kind of little embellishment on these little parts, but, and then I want to do something on the backs of these, okay? So that's all of those. And then I also I assembled these pieces and this is what is going to go. This is actually going to be glued in to the spine, okay, like that. So it's going to be like a page, okay, and then the elastic will be on the inside of that. So I attached the pockets, which still need to be stitched up on the bottom, okay, because I cut the bottoms off of these, so these need to be, there's a little bit of glue, these still need to be stitched closed, okay, so I can't forget to do that. But before I do any stitching on these, I wanted to cover the backs of them. So yeah, so I got to do that first. So basically I need to do a lot more gluing and that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to be working on one element at a time, and at the moment I'm working, oh, and I have all of these little guys set aside. These are the little closure pieces that I removed from each one of the envelopes. So I just have those in a little pile. So I want to cover this side of the cover also. Anyway, so I'm just going to work on these for now. And I think what I'm going to do is do all of those elements kind of in the same way. And what I did was I pulled out, I have a whole bunch of these little rolls of different paper things. These little like EKG chart, like rolls of paper, you know, they go in medical equipment. This was in some Happy Mail, different rolls of paper. This is like sticker tape, so it's like sticker on the back. You can find this lots of different places. I think I got mine off of Wish or something. And I think it was Karen that sent me these. Same person that sent this. I'm so sorry, I can't remember her first name off the top of my head. But anyways, so just all these little rolls of different kinds of paper. This one is like, you can see it's kind of hard to see, but it has a little bit of a grid pattern on it that's yellow. It's really cool. But it's like, see if you mark it, it's like, what do they call it? It's like pressure sensitive or heat sensitive or something. Anyway, so it's kind of fun to write on. You can write on it just with like your fingernail, you know. Anyway, what do they call that? Where it's, oh, I can't remember. Anyway, you don't use ink on it. This is another This is another roll. Oh, this is just white. It's like thermal printer paper or something. Anyway, so this kind of stuff, and then just a bunch of different rolls of masking tape. I've got a roll of that packing tape that you have to wet it. You know, you have to wet it on the back, and it's got glue that activates with water. So I've got that, and then I just pulled out a whole bunch of other things that are basically blank, like blank paper. Okay, so things that you could write on. You know, if I glue that down onto the backs of all of these pieces, it gives the user something to write on. So that's basically what this is. These came from her also. I think it's Karen. It might not be Karen, but it might be. Anyway, so just lots of blank paper. Okay, ledger pages. Pulled out a bunch of my little tiny notebooks that I thought would be kind of fun to include some writing, just a little bit of writing here and there, and just old ledgers, little ones. This was a little ledger book that got wet at some point, so it's kind of like all, you know, just faint little pink lines. Anyway, so that's what I want to do on the backs of all of these pieces. So I'm just trying to add something not really complicated, like really simple, but to get it covered, you know. And I'm just gluing it on, and then I'll trim off the edges later. And if this doesn't, you know, this isn't going to cover the entire thing, so then I'll just add something to cover up those spaces at the top and bottom. I mean, I don't necessarily even have to do that, but that's sort of what I've been doing. I've done a few. I've done 8 or 10 or so. And this is kind of fast too. Like, I think it's nice to do collaging with this type of paper so that, you know, so somebody can write on it, and sort of serves dual duty, you know. So I just take little pieces and add them here and there. And I just think it's kind of fun for somebody who is using the journal to have different little spaces where they can add a quote or even glue a little image on somewhere or something like that, you know, just to give it some interest. I was going to use some washi tapes on here on these, but oh, I have enough stuff out on my desk. I didn't want to pull out the washi tape. And plus, I don't know how easy it is to write on washi tape. And I haven't tried. So what I would do normally is just let this dry. Kind of let these dry a little bit before I try to trim the edges. But yeah, so then it just cleans it up nicely. Also, if I think this is what I'm going to do from here on out, is I'll just collage them all with the paper that I want, and then let them all dry. And then sometimes the easiest thing to do is to actually just use a piece of sandpaper to trim the edges. And I think that gives it a nice look too. Anyway, I think I'm going to try to stay away from doing a bunch of inking. What with this, because I don't know, I think a lot of people like inked stuff, like to make it more vintagey, you know, but then there's a lot of people that don't. So I just figure if you want your page inky, you can ink it yourself, right? A little piece of an envelope. So I'll just do all of these, and then, whoops, that's, the address is upside down there. Oh, well. And then I'll move on to the next element. And once I get all of that done, then I can work on my stitching. Then I can start doing all the stitching. So I can use some of these pieces too and just kind of fill in. I do like to have a torn edge on that inside part. And I'm just using regular glue stick to put this down. I'm not, you know, I'm not really worried about it. This glue works really well. I've never had any trouble with it lifting or anything like that. Come on. There. Okay, and let that one dry. So I don't know, I just think it just looks nice to have lots of different, let's use some of, I want to use some of this. This is the first one of these that I've actually torn. I kind of want that to be over the top though. So let's just put some lined paper underneath this one. Another piece of the envelope. And I always use my baby wipe to smooth this out because, you know, it just wipes up all the excess glue. I can really press it down and yeah, and then put that right over the top. Oops. Anyway, so this is relaxing. Like, I love just having a whole pile of pieces that I need to work on, and all my scraps of paper just ready to go. Yeah, I think that looks cool. It'll look nice when it's all trimmed up too. I was putting like a C on all of the pieces that needed collaging, but then I realized that I would figure it out. What else is in here? Got some of these old, these are like old shopping bags, like from a department store here in Spokane, the Crescent. They went out of business a long time ago, like shortly after I moved here. There's a recipe for raisin oatmeal cookies. Yeah, I like that. I'll put this little piece down here. A few little numbers on there. And let's do wait, I'm gonna use my wider masking tape, because then I can I do like to put a little bit of glue under masking tape though, because it will start to lift over time, sort of just like washi tape, right? Like, isn't that what washi tape is actually, is masking tape? So yeah, just keep going. So this will be probably the rest of the day. I've got a whole bunch of small pieces to work on. I started watching this show. I thought maybe you guys would enjoy it. It's called, oh my God, what's it called? United Shades of America. It's this comedian that does, he's traveling all over the United States, and he also goes to Canada, but traveling all over the United States and just doing these really neat sort of like perspective stories on all of these different places in the country, and it's kind of fun to watch. Anyway, just saying. Okay, so that's not going to fit there. It's making me mad now. Okay, yeah, it'll fit like that. So yeah, so I thought this would look nice, give a nice background for any other kind of embellishments that I want to add to any of these pieces. Plus it makes them useful to whoever is using this as a journal, you know. Plus I get to use up a whole bunch of these things that I've just had in a drawer and haven't been using, you know. So yeah, so if you have a whole bunch of scraps of just random blank paper that, you know, I don't know if I'm the only one that separates that kind of stuff out, but if you're one of those people, this is a good way to just use a bunch of old scrappy paper, you know, like even your like your coffee dyed papers that maybe if you dry them in the oven, maybe they get a little too crispy, or your blank pages out of books, or, you know, like end papers, things like that. Shopping bags, old envelopes. I've been hoarding this paper from Rachel at Roxy Creations for a while now. This is some of that straw paper that everybody loves and we can't find anywhere except for in Italy. So I thought I'd use some of that. All kinds of tapes, different like order forms, ledger paper, like blank ledger paper, just all kinds of stuff. I'm going to use a piece of this. This is the grid paper. Washi tape. Wait, I just need a little piece. And then once I get all of these collaged and trimmed and stuff, then I'm going to come back and do some stitching on them. Just around these three sides, you know, because I need to close up the bottoms, and then just do like a zigzag stitch, like a real thin zigzag stitch around the edges, and then do my little notch and a magnet. I'm going to leave the covers blank, or the little flaps. I'm going to leave them as they are. So anyway, I hope you guys find that a little bit inspiring, and I just wanted to give you a little update on where I am and how these are coming along, and if you needed maybe some ideas about using up some of your scraps, just old paper, you know, just old grungy paper is it's just fun. It's just fun to tear it up and glue it down. So anyway, let me know what you guys are doing. I'm curious to know if anybody is making something like this, you know, along with me. And I haven't been sharing much on Instagram lately. I don't know why. I guess I don't know. I've kind of went into this little social media like hole for a while. I haven't been on Facebook. I haven't been on Instagram. Barely been on YouTube much. But yeah, I think this one just needs these two pieces. But anyways, what I was going to say is, if you are working along with me and you're, you know, making something like this, if, you know, this inspired you to pull out all your envelopes and try to make something similar or whatever, tag me on Instagram. I would like to see, and I will, I'll get a notification. So, yeah, so that would be kind of fun to see if anybody else is sort of working along. So post yours on Instagram and I will go check it out. Anyway, so that's that. And if you have any questions, you can always email me. I usually put my email address in the description, or you can leave a comment. I try to read all of the comments and at least acknowledge that I read them, with a, you know, a heart or a like, you know, and if there's questions there, I usually try to answer questions in the comments. So sometimes it's hard to actually reply to every comment, but just know that I love reading them. So anyway, I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Okay, bye for now.